Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Motive Racing League. This evening, as you can see, we are in the Clios here at Oulton Park. At the moment, I'm just trying to set the stream out as we see the drivers just going out on their out laps. Unfortunately, we do not have a full grid this evening, which is very unlike these Clios. So next week, if you would like to join in, feel free to join our Discord server. The link, if you click on our Facebook page, the link is there where you can join and get a driver sign up, hopefully for next week, or at the worst season 2, which starts in just a couple of weeks, where we have new championships such as LMP2s, GT3s, and yesterday it was announced that we are going to be doing a Dirt 2 championship, obviously that being the new game everyone is playing, with it being free at the moment. We hope you can join in and be on the grid for that one as well. So we're just on board at the moment with Eris Umbro as he comes towards the end of his out lap. Just currently setting up the stream, and then we'll get underway. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to comment who you think is going to win this evening for this Tier 2 race, please feel free. I shall be looking at the comments throughout the evening. Unfortunately, Andy isn't with us this evening, but on a plus note, he is going to be on the starting grid in our Tier 1 race, which is going to happen after this, where our boys, I have seen, have been practicing hard and are looking very fast. Right. So we just see there Eris Umbro looking quite fast at the moment, very consistent, as he has been all season. We'll just jump on board with our championship leader at the moment, Deck Paint. A very good race last night at Catalonia. He finished second. Let's see if he can improve that tonight. Just coming to the end of his lap now. And there's our first lap from Deck Paint, 1:49, a brilliant lap there as he starts his second lap. A 15-minute qualifying for these boys this evening, so he's a third of the way through as he just comes down the hill, sliding sideways, pushing that car to the limits. Gypsy George, our second lap time of the evening, a 2:05, so he must still be warming that car up, as unfortunately spins and touches that grass. It's one of the big problems here at Oulton Park. The track is not very wide, unfortunately touching that grass will send you spinning. So we hope to see George improve that lap time and get further up the field throughout the race. For anyone watching at home, please leave a comment, let me know if the audio is alright and the stream quality. Obviously this is something we are looking to improve. I just want to make sure it's alright for this evening's fixtures before they get underway, and then we can keep you entertained at home. And we're back on board with our championship leader, Deck Paint, as he comes towards the end of his lap down that long straight. He's going to slam the brakes on now, turning in tight, make sure he doesn't touch those outside curbs, because that will invalidate your lap. And he comes to the end now of his second qualifying lap. Is he going to be able to improve that 1:49.5 as he comes across the line? Unfortunately he doesn't. He's off again now. And we've got a new driver looking to come in now, so I'm just going to invite him. Hopefully he can show us what it's like to be on the grid for the first time here at Motive Racing. Like I say, if you would like to join in next week, there is spaces available as shown. We can get you on the grid here at one of the most competitive race leagues there is. and you can show us how good of a driver you all are at home. There we go, we jump back on board with our drivers. In second position at the moment we have Mizon, one of our newest drivers. I say this a lot in streams, but he has really shown us true excellence in a car. He's only had the game 3 weeks, and yesterday we saw him nearly win the GT Tier 3 race, and a sensational performance we're hoping again this evening as he slides around that long left hander coming down the straight now. And as we see there, unfortunately Smokey Devil looks to have had a penalty already. Whether that's speeding in the pits, I'm pretty sure it will be. Let's have a look at the timing so far then. So halfway through qualifying for the Tier 2 Clio Cup here at Motive Racing. Det Pate's currently on pole, 2 seconds back is Mizdek. Emo Guy, our Scottish racer, in third at the moment. Gypsy George in fourth. Smokey Devil in fifth, and Eris Umbro currently hasn't set a lap, so we'll have to have a look at him and see if he's just on an out lap at the moment, or due to track limits he hasn't set a lap, as he just comes up over the rise now towards the back straight. Sliding that car as he comes under the bridge. Is this going to be his first lap time? And across the line, puts it in second, only 9/10 off the pace this evening, Eris Umbro. So definitely he'll be looking to improve that, as we have all drivers out on track now. So Eris Umbro obviously moves up to second, so that's going to be something to look out for throughout the rest of this qualifying. Only 5.5 minutes to go now. We jump on board with Gypsy George. That's a lovely paint job he has there on this Clio, coming round the hairpin. One big factor for this evening's race is keeping the consistency of revs with this vehicle. Obviously it's only a small powered vehicle, and we've got to you've got to keep those revs up, otherwise people will be able to get gaps and get away from you in front. Looks like Det Pate's improved that lap time of his. He's now 1.7 in front of our next best man as he comes down the hill again to start another lap. A 1:48.7 he's just done, so we'll have to keep an eye on that whilst we're waiting for this qualifying session to end. I'll let you know a few facts about this evening's track for these drivers. It is the full track, which is the international track which the drivers are going to be taking on this evening, is 2.692 miles long. It includes 17 turns, and a lap record currently held by Gareth Rees is a 1:24.6. Pretty sure these drivers won't be doing that this evening in these little Renault Clios. Major events that are held here obviously are the British Touring Car Championship, British F3, British GT, and also the British Superbikes. So it is a well-known track throughout British motorsports, and definitely somewhere worth a visit if you are within the West Midlands, to go and watch some brilliant racing. As we see there, Eris Umbro just pulling off to one side. Maybe just checking something to do with his car, but we see there a few cars have gone in the pit, so I don't know what's going on there. We are on board now with Emo Guy in that orange fluorescent paint job as he comes around the hairpin. Unfortunately 12 seconds off the pace at the moment. He has told me he's struggling with a setup with this car. He is quite new to our new to our race league, and we have offered to help out, and which we have done, and we have noticed he's getting faster, which is brilliant to see. Unfortunately running wide there, so that'll be a slowdown for this lap. Just over 2.5 minutes to go here at Oulton Park for this evening's qualifying session in Tier 2. We're back on board here with Eris Umbro as he comes down long straight into the last corner, drops down onto the final straight now. Is he going to be able to beat that time of deck paint? 1.7 seconds back at the moment as he crosses the line. Unfortunately isn't able to do it, but he should have 2 laps left. If he keeps up that pace, he will get across the line before that 15-minute does end. And we've got a couple of drivers in now who unfortunately haven't been able to do laps yet. They are out on track, so hopefully they can get laps in. Just coming around that Shell Oils corner now, up to Britain's. So there we go, Eris Umbro, one to watch at the moment. As we just see Smoky Devil puts it into second position, we're going to jump on board with him to watch the lap here at Oulton Park International, as he's just coming down the first straight of the track into Cascades. On the left there you see the large lake here at Oulton Park. As he lets off, we'll try and jump on board with someone else. Very unfortunate for him to be laying off there as we were on board. There we are, we're on board with Miz on at the same place now. Flat out through that left hand of the rear end, sliding round, brakes hard, tries to pull the front of the car in as tight as you can through Shell Oil corner. Back on the power, up to Britain's now. This is a very technical part to get right here at Oulton Park. You've got to try and flick it to the left and then straight back to the right, whilst trying to keep that power on to get it up the hill as fast as you can. And now we see in front of his lots another very technical chicane. This could be an overtaking opportunity if you get a good run out of there to get up the inside. Flat out now, straight up the hill. Although these cars aren't the fastest in project cars too, they definitely bring out the best of drivers as far as safety and competitiveness there is. We have had a few races this season which have only been a few tenths of a second in it, which is brilliant to see here at Motive. With it being our first season, we're still trying to get the best drivers we can, and it seems we do have some of the best already. So as you see now, coming across the line to complete another lap, Miz on across the line. That's the end of his qualifying session by the looks of it. So we'll jump back trackside and see who is left out on track. We only have one driver we're on board with who hasn't unfortunately done a lap yet, but it looks like he's coming towards the end of his lap. Round Drew's corner, up over that rise, under the bridge, coming towards Lodge corner now. He needs to try and keep that power on as much as he can to get a good run down the hill, and it looks he does. Touches the curbs though, so that's going to be a slowdown. Unfortunately with project cars, if you do touch the curbs or go over slightly, it will be a slowdown, and unfortunately that's the lap invalidated there for him. So as we look at it here, deck paint on pole at the moment, Smoky Devil in second, Eris Umbro in third, Mistech fourth, Gypsy George in fifth. A new driver on the grid, Hov, I'll just call him Hov because I can't really pronounce that. Hov in sixth, Emo Guy in seventh, Yomko in eighth, another new driver. And as you can see, I'm not racing, I am commentating this evening, so Not a full grid, but definitely it's going to be a competitive grid of drivers for this evening's Tier 2 Clio Cup here at Motive Racing. Let's get these drivers underway and get on the spectator. We're going to jump on board deck paint, our pole sitter for this evening. As I say, unfortunately not a full grid, but if you do like what you see and you're not signed up to Motive Racing yet, get on Facebook, click that big button that you can see on the home page, which will send you to our Discord, and you can sign up to be a driver for next season or even this season if there is space. We're just waiting now as the drivers put the setups in, and I think it's going to be very close at the front this evening between Deck Paint and Eris Umbro, and also Smoky Devil, because Smoky Devil is unfortunately starting in third due to having that grid place penalty. We'll have to find out why he got that at the end of the race, and very unfortunate, but we do know he does get away from starts quite well. As we saw last night, unfortunately Deck Paint didn't get away in that BMW, just like usual. The BMW doesn't perform well off standing starts, but hopefully we can see Deck Paint on pole again this evening, and he does get a good start into that first corner here at Oulton Park. There we go, a comment on our stream. Unfortunately I missed it earlier, but come on George. Let's see how good Gypsy George does this evening. And the lights are about to go out. Here we are, we're underway here at Oulton Park. And unfortunately our 4th place grid doesn't get away. Very unfortunate there. It looks like he might have stalled it, leaving cars behind. But Deck Paint gets a brilliant start at the front with Eris Umbro just behind him, and Mizon taken with him. Very unfortunate to see a car stall on the start line like that. It's something that happens, but very unfortunate, very unfortunate. As we see them now coming down the Lakeside Straight, our 3 drivers that got away off that start line. Only 5 tenths in it at the moment between Eris Umbro and Deck Paint. Flat out through that left-hander, coming down towards Shallow Corner now. Deck Paint slams those brakes on, locks up the back. And we'll have a look what's going on towards the rear now as those drivers have got underway. Emo Guy down in 5th. Some pressure from behind one of the new drivers, Yom. We'll have to see how these boys perform, our new drivers. Smoky Devil there in 4th in that beautiful purple and white car. Now we see Mizon, and it looks like there Eris Umbro might have had a slowdown penalty as he just pulls to one side. Very safe there, and takes that penalty and lets Mizon on past. And Mizon now up to 2nd position. Deck Paint, as you see there at the end of the pitch, you're getting a flying start at the end of lap 1. He is 2.5 seconds up. As we see, they're flying out to the last corner. Eris Umbro, very unfortunate that he didn't get the car stopped, but he's still going strong in 3rd position. 2 seconds behind him is Smoky Devil. We've got a little battle going on for 5th position. 2 cars here, Emu Guy and Yom. Going into the first corner again to start lap 2 of this Tier 2 Motive Racing Clio Cup. And they come down towards Cascades now, sliding that car sideways. And as we see at the front, Deck Paint under no pressure at all. at the moment, but as we saw last night, Deck Paint did make quite a few mistakes in that BMW N6 of his, so let's hope he doesn't get that this evening. As a clean sheet, and from the start he's got, let's hope he keeps it with a 4-second lead now coming towards the end of that too. Behind him still is Miztec in that red Clio. Although Sombro does have him in his sights, as you can see there just at the back of the picture. He's going to be wanting to catch back up to him, as he did give the position to Miztec due to a slowdown on the previous lap. As we see there in that first couple of corners, looks like Eris Umbro did get the run on Mizon, and as that managed to catch right up to the back of him now, trying to put a bit of pressure on Miztec as they come side by side. Miztec taking that slowdown, I'm guessing, as he came out of Cascades. Very safe of him there to pull to one side. Brilliant to see from our new drivers. It looks like it's going to be a battle from second this evening. If all goes well for Deck Paint, he is now 7 seconds up the road. So we'll have to keep an eye on this battle for second. Nothing looks to be going on further back as we join on board with Yom, who behind 2 seconds back is Emo Guy, our season regular now. Just in front of him is Smoky Devil in 4th position. Looking very strong and consistent at the moment. Yom's just looking to put a bit of pressure on him though as we come up the rise. Smoky Devil can just see now in the distance Miztec, who looks to have dropped off a bit from Eris Umbro. Eris looks to have pulled a 3-second gap now, as you just see at the back of the picture there's Miztec. So it looks like Eris Umbro is attacking and trying to catch back up to Deck Paint. Deck Paint looks to have a problem on lap 4 of this race. He looks to have spat out, maybe he's only 1 seconds in the lead now, so this is a problem of Deck Paint. So we do see he has the pace but not the consistency at the moment, so hopefully for season 2 he can improve this and keep that pace. As it looks to be, he will be promoted to tier 1 for next season, as he pulls to one side and lets Eris Umbro past. So maybe he had a slowdown, or is he getting into the head of Eris Umbro, showing that Deck Paint has the pace and he wants to put pressure on him and maybe make Eris Umbro make a mistake. If these pair do start battling, it's going to be perfect for Miztec, as Miztec will be able to catch up. Deck Paint all over the back of Eris Umbro now. 23 minutes to go of this race here at Motive Racing League. If you are not already signed up to our Discord server, please feel free to have a look on our Facebook page as we go too wide. Now coming into the Druid's Corner, Deck Paint manages to get around the outside of Eris Umbro. Brilliant safe driving there from both drivers. Yeah, as I was saying, if you're not joined up to our Discord server and would like to join in, please feel free to on our Facebook page. There is links on there to our Discord server. We have announced yesterday that we are going to do a Dirt 2 championship in the coming weeks. Obviously this being because it is a free game at the moment on PlayStation, which is brilliant. It will get a lot more motorsport fans online, and we can see them perform at the best in our league. So if you would like to join in for season 2, we do also have LMP2 league starting and a GT3 championship. alongside our current championships, which is the Clios, the GT5s and the GTEs. So there we go, we just see Eris Umbra trying to keep it as consistent as he can at the moment. He will have known that Deck Paint did make a mistake. From our perspective, we can't see what happened to Deck Paint when he did slide out, or maybe he had a slowdown. We'll join on board now with Smoky Devil, putting all sorts of pressure all over Miztec now as they're going to come into his laps. Smoky Devil just sitting behind Miztec at the moment, with Yom just coming up right behind him. Yom putting plenty of pressure all over Smoky Devil. Are we going to see another 2 wide as we go up over Water Tower? There we go, through Water Tower now, into Hislop's corner. Hard on the brakes there, Smoky Devil. Runs a little bit wide, manages to get it back in. And we start lap number 6 with 20 minutes to go, so we're a third into the race now. All our drivers spread out on the track. A little battle going on for the podium though. Our 3 drivers, Miztec just in front of Smoky Devil, only a second in front. And there's about half a second in between these 2 drivers. You joined on board with our new driver Yom and Smoky Devil. And it looks like Smoky Devil's hard on the brakes there. Yom had nowhere to go and had to go to the left hand side. Very good to see he avoids an accident. And back up to the front, our second positioned driver at the moment. Just driving very safely and consistently with that 2-second gap in front of him of Deck Paint, our championship leader. You can just see there in the background of the picture, there comes Eris Umbra. So he hasn't really pulled out much of a gap at the moment, Deck Paint. As we did see in qualifying, we did have Deck Paint on pole, then Smoky Devil second. So Smoky Devil looks to have the pace in qualifying, but maybe his race setup isn't as good. And then third place was Eris Umbra, so they're definitely all on the pace. Across the line till at the start, lap 7, we're on board with our race leader. If you have only just joined us here at Motive Racing, please feel free to like and subscribe, as we do have our tier 1 race after this, where it is definitely going to be a full grid. And also our seasonal commentator Andrew, who has set up Motive Racing, is going to be on the start line for that race, so it's going to be brilliant to see him out there battling with our drivers. It looks like also we will have Seb back in the commentating booth for that, so that's going to be brilliant to have him back. As we see, still on board with our leader, 1 second behind now, so he's crawling in down the Shell Oils corner. You can just see him in front of him now, it's crawled in massively, and Deck Paint slows down to let Eris Umbra pass again at the same place. So it looks like Deck Paint's having all sort of problems again this evening, the same as last night. We'll have to try and find out what's going on. 17.5 minutes to go here. Half a second between these boys now. Deck Paint putting all sorts of pressure all over Eris Umbra as they come up the rise and are heading towards Lodge Corner, entering Lodge Corner now. Deck Paint's on the inside. Can he make it on the inside? No, he stays behind and keeps it safe. Here we are now at Lodge Corner. Deck Paint going for the wide line. Can he cut it back in? He goes around the outside. Brilliant, safe overtake there from Deck Paint. And he manages to get it done, gets the drive. Heading across the line now to start lap 8. You're joining us here at Motive Racing League. And we're watching the battle for the lead here with two brilliant drivers. Coming past Lakeside now, we're going to join on board with Deck Paint, our second position driver, and see from his perspective what it's like to be sat behind Sombra. So we're looking now at his bumper cam, so putting all sorts of pressure all over the back of Sombra, like I say, slamming on those brakes hard, trying to get this race line right to get the power on and be able to push up this hill to get a brilliant drive and hopefully get onto the inside. As we see, he's Sombra defending into the chicane now. Deck Paint's all over the back of him. Maybe a small touch there, but nothing significant as he's still in front. Brilliant racing from these pair as Deck Paint looks to pull to the side of him now, up the hill, right, up the rise. Is he going to try up the inside? As he pulls back behind. We're halfway through the race now, ladies and gentlemen. Brilliant to see these two drivers battling it out as we come to the end shortly of lap 8. Is Deck Paint going to try that outside line again? He is. Can he get the drive again to get past? We're side by side now, ladies and gentlemen, as we start lap 9 of this Tier 2 Clio Cup race. Sombra on the inside for the first corner, staying defensive, but Deck Paint's going to get the run, get that drive out of the first corner. Coming down the hill now into Cascades. Deck Paint taking a wider line. Sombra running a little bit wide there on the curb. Deck Paint should get the drive, and we're still too wide past Lakeside, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Sombra has just dropped behind, heading towards Shallow Hill Corner now. Both of them sliding that car around, using as much speed as they can, slamming on the brakes. Deck Paint now half a second in front of our second position driver, Sombra. Brilliant racing there from those boys. 4 laps of quality racing. We'll look further back now in third position, our new driver, Yom. 10 seconds back from the leaders, but just behind him he's got Miztec. So if Miztec gets a good drive through these corners, you will be able to catch up, and we might see a battle on our hands for the podium throughout the rest of this race. Into his laps now. Miztec looks to have crawled that gap back in due to the bad drive. He got Yom got out of Britain's all over the back of Yom now. Miztec, as we go up the hill rise. Into Drew's corner now. Downshifting one, power straight back on, sliding the car sideways under the bridge. Unfortunately, I didn't catch that on camera, but I've just noticed this Deck Paint has dropped back 3.5 seconds now. So our race leader, Sombra, is pulling away from Deck Paint. 3.5 seconds lead he has now over our championship leader, as we should just see him there in the picture. Very faint though. Is Sombra going to attack the lead now? Try to push on as much as he can, as we see there at the back of the picture. There is our second position driver this evening. The battle's still going on for our podium position now as we come past Lakeside. Miztec still all over the back of Yom. These pair have no drivers around them as Miztec's looking to go around the outside here at Shallow Hill Corner. Is he going to get it done? Unfortunately not. Brilliant racing from these pair to keep it safe. And up the hill they go once again. Let's join on board with Mistech to see what he's seen in front of him. Into his lops. Getting the power on as quick as you can to get him enough speed and power to get a good drive up the hill. It looks like Yom's pulled away a little bit there. Pardon me. And coming now at Drood's corner, just on the curb a little bit there, as we see Yom sliding everywhere, getting as much power down as he can. So on the timing sheet at the moment, we do still have our race leader Eris Umbra 2.5 seconds in front of our championship leader Deck Paint. Mistech just pulling to the side there, maybe playing mind games with Yom. If you're just joining us, we are joining on board with the battle for our last podium position between two of our new drivers here at Motive Racing League. Yom is this is Yom's debut here in the Clio Cups and here at Motive, so it's brilliant to see him showing his excellence. Just in front we've got our championship leader, 2 seconds off the leader, which is Eris Umbra. So we'll try and keep an eye out whether that gap does come down. And obviously if you would like to join in, please feel free to go to our Facebook page, where you can find a link to our Discord server and find more about our championships we shall be running. We've got 3 new championships for season 2 alongside our 3 we've got going at the moment. We do have alongside our championships an LMP2 championship, GT3 championship, and also we are going to be doing a championship on Dirt 2. So that's brilliant to see. And we see there, unfortunately, our race leader running wide as we join back on Lakeside. Too wide. We were there for a moment. Our race leader now is Deck Paint. Very unfortunate for Eris Umbra. That 2.5 second lead got crawled back in. And we see Deck Paint running wide. Maybe the pressure of now being back in the race lead hasn't worked for him, as Eris Umbra now back in the lead. Deck Paint pulls to the right, but thinks better of it as these pair look to have another battle with 8.5 minutes to go of this Tier 2 Clio Cup race here at Motive Racing League. 5 tenths just behind now Deck Paint as we come down into his laps. And it looks like we've got a battle as well going on for 3rd position. These two drivers still at it as they also come down into his laps now, unfortunately 12 seconds behind our leaders. But we'll just have to keep an eye on this as well, as our leaders, these two battling it out bumper to bumper. Coming under the bridge now. Oh, we're going to be too wide again into Lodge Corner. We have seen Deck Paint take that wider line and managing to get the drive onto the straight. This time Eris Umbra covers that wider line and still in the lead as we enter lap 13 of this race. This race being just a sprint race for these Tier 2 drivers. No mandatory pit stop, just a half-an-hour race. First across the line, but we still do have penalties on. Our 2 race leaders do not have a penalty at the moment, so it is going to be first across the line out of these 2 if all goes well. And into shallow oils corner, banging down the gears. Deck paint runs wide again. As we see Arizona using that to his advantage, keeping the car in and getting on the inside of deck paint there. Back into the lead he goes. Just touching the inside curb there, bouncing his car. He managed to keep it straight though, which is very good to see from these drivers. Arizona going very defensive there. And it looks like he had a slowdown maybe as he's given the place to deck paint, which is very good to see from these drivers. Very safe driving. And across the line we go once more. 2 attempts in it between these two drivers. And we start lap 14 of this race. 5.5 minutes to go. Very close at the moment. As we just noticed, Miztec takes the lead for 3rd position after this little battle that's going on. As they now reach the first corner. Jon looks at the inside line. Oh, and a touch of wheels there. Very unfortunate for these two drivers, but they managed to keep it going. Very unfortunate racing incident there. We'll join back at the front as this battle's still going on. Oh, very unfortunate for Eris Umbra, our race leader that was, that's just touched the grass and he's managed to go off track. Deck paint left, out on track in the lead, 1.2 tenths, 1.2 seconds up now. These drivers are pushing as hard as they can. As we see that deck paint goes off as well. So we can, as I say, these drivers are pushing as hard as they can. As shown there, deck paint very respectful to Arizona and gives him that position due to his own mistake. So it looks like we're going to see a battle again between these two drivers. And up the hill once more we go. I still don't know who's going to win this race. Obviously these two drivers are pushing as much as they can now as we reach nearly less than 4 minutes. Deck paint all over the place. He manages to keep it on the track though. Very good driving there from him. He loses some time though. The gap increases as we go down the straight. 1.2 seconds it is now. Coming out to the last corner onto the straight. Start that 15th lap, and it does look like we are going to have 2 laps to go. And just behind we see Jon now in 3rd. He's got a 4-second gap over Miztec, so I don't know what's happened there. I'm sure we'll find out at the end of the race. As you can see there in the background, that red car being Miztec, so he's found quite a big gap now. Showing back on board with these two leaders, as it is the only battle going on at the moment, and it's a brilliant battle between these drivers. Very respectful to each other. And they head towards Britain's once more, trying to keep that power on there. Someone unfortunately runs off track onto the gravel. And he pulls to one side to let deck paint past. Very good to see these two drivers showing respect to each other. And it looks like this one is going to be down to the last corner. Who's going to take the win? Please comment down below who you do think is going to win this one, because I still don't know. As we see there, somewhere back in the lead, deck paint just pulling to one side. I don't know why, but makes it ever more interesting for me in the commentator box. Maybe deck paint wants to be in 2nd position for the start of this last lap. It's going to be close whether it is going to be the last lap. I don't think it will. I think we are going to have 2 more laps. We'll have to find out now after this lap. Currently our last lap was a 1:51, so it does look like there is going to be 2 laps left of this race. As they come down to Cascades again, these 2 drivers look to be side by side. Brilliant track etiquette from these pair. Are they going to be side by side into this long left-hander at Island Bend? Deck Paint lets off, very safe driving there into Shell Oil's corner. Deck Paint a lot later on the brakes there, manages to claw that gap back in. Touching bumpers now, very close racing as they head towards Britain's again. Who's going to get the better drive as they will head towards Islops? Maybe an opportunity to overtake up the inside as Eris Umbra knows this and goes very defensive up over the hill. Staying defensive as we come down towards the corner. He'll now pull back onto the race line. Hit that curb perfectly and bring it round with Deck Paint sat on his bumper. These drivers still at it, 3 attempts between them. 26 seconds to go with this race, so there is going to be 1 more lap. Absolutely brilliant driving from these 2 Tier 2 drivers. As I say, please comment who you do think is going to win this race as we head on to the last lap now. Turn 1, we go through. Down to Cascades now. We're sideways. Deck Paint manages to keep it in a straight line. Eris Umbra, our race leader at the moment. So if you're just joining us here at Motive Racing, we are on the last lap of our Tier 2 Clio Cup race. Our 2 leaders battling it out, as you can see on the screen. They're going to be side by side now into that long left-hander at Lakeside. Deck Paint lets off to avoid an accident there. Down to Shell Oil's corner. No changes in positions at the moment, but I'm sure Deck Paint would want a change of position. A brilliant race for these 2 so far. Let's hope no mistakes are made from these drivers. A touch of bumpers there, but they managed to keep it straight line. Eris Umbra going very defensive as usual he would, coming over that hilltop into Islops. Deck Paint just to the side of him, trying to use as much track as he can to get a good run and get past him before the end of this lap. This is the last lap, and we go up the hill for the last time towards Drew's corner. It is Deck Paint going to try and get a run around the outside of the last corner like we've seen throughout the race, and it looks to be that is his only chance now. Will he be able to get that good run out of this last corner? He pulls to the side and it's going to be too wide maybe into the last corner, and it is too wide. Deck Paint gets around the outside and manages to get it done. Brilliant racing there from Deck Paint, and he is now our race leader and our race winner here at Oulton Park for our Tier 2 race. Wow, a brilliant finish to the race there, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be doing our Tier 1 race very shortly. We shall get Deck Paint in the commentary box if we can now. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think. And if you have any questions for these drivers this evening, there we go. Let's get these drivers into the commentary box. Absolutely sensational drivers from both of them. Like I say, our championship leader has just shown why he is the championship leader. That last corner was brilliant. Welcome Deck Paint to the commentary box. Wow, what a race, what a race.
That
brilliant.
was mental, honestly, that was absolute, yeah.
Brilliant race.
That is the best. I don't want to be biased, that could be the best battle on Motive this season.
Well, we've got both of you here.
Unreal.
Exceptional. Oh.
Honestly boys, I'm so proud of you. That was a brilliant race. Let's just say, from your perspective, Eris Umbra, how was that coming on to the last lap, you were in the lead.
Yeah, the tyres.
What were you thinking?
No, Dex faster. Like, I just had to put my car in the right place and not bottle it. But you know, Dex excellent pace. It all came down to the last corner, because of course it would. And somehow he got magic grip, kept it around the outside, and he left the cars long in it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant race there. 0.14 in it in the end. So, Deck Paint, how did you manage where you were going to overtake on that last lap? Obviously, you could have pushed it up the inside a couple of times with this track having tight corners.
Yeah, well, my original plan was thinking, oh, I've got a good run out of Island Bend, let's try and get him into Shell Oils, and then slam the door shut on me. I was like, oh god, where am I going to go now? And I was thinking, if I can get a good run out of Druids, I might have a chance into the last corner. And then he defended the inside. I was like, oh, I've already overtaken somebody on the outside once, I'm going to have to do it again, aren't I?
I think it's me again. Yeah, Deck definitely had the pace, but you know, consistency and the slowdown from the track, then it's kept it
that's how it ended up keeping close. Aries had a slowdown, and I had a slowdown, and that's why we were constantly changing positions. It was crazy.
Yeah, brilliant driving. So we didn't quite catch on stream what happened at the start of Deck Paint. Obviously you got a brilliant start and got away with about a 10-second gap, so obviously Aris Umber was chasing that, but what happened?
Yeah, I spun it coming into the Britain's chicane, just got too much curb on the first left, just spun it around there. It was a driver error, but at the end it created this brilliant battle between me and Aries, so hopefully it was good for the guys on stream.
Definitely, everyone said it was a brilliant race, and we hope to see the same at Monza Short next week. We hope to see you both on the start line.
Oh, there could be a free wide battle around there.
Oh, definitely.
Next stream and the track work is really going to lend itself to battles around there, I reckon. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, well done, boys. I'll leave you all to enjoy your evenings, and we'll see you next week at Monza Short, same time.
Yeah, thanks very much. No worries. Cheers, bud. Yeah.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. A brilliant race from our Tier 2 drivers this evening. If you do like what you see, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you would like to join in though, please feel free to go on our Facebook page where there is a link to our Discord, and you can join in our Season 2, which is going to start in a couple of weeks. I'll just go through the results for this evening's race. So Deck Paint won, as we saw at the end, around the outside on the last corner, only by 0.14 to Eris Umbra. A brilliant battle there. Yomka, who also had a battle throughout the race with Miztec, came third. Also had that 2-second penalty though. Smoky Devil came in 5th. Very consistent race for him there. Emo Guy in 6th. A new driver for us, Hov, in 7th. And obviously I wasn't racing, I was commentating, but if you would like to join in next week, if there is seats available, please, like I say, feel free to join our Discord. We are always looking for new drivers. Our Tier 1 race shall be starting very shortly, so feel free to stay on our YouTube page, and we shall go live again. Thank you for joining us for our Tier 2 race here at Motive Racing.